Okay, for the last set, we are going to have to do some problem solving. So you got to be open-minded and trying to check and work it different ways, multiple steps. So on here it says triangle ABC was transformed to form triangle A prime B prime C prime as shown in the coordinate grid below. Okay, which rule, excuse me, describes the transformation that was used for the image A prime B prime C prime. So which one of these would create the triangle? The best way to do this, I would try to look at the coordinates. So A right here is a negative 5, 2, and it changes A prime to a negative 1, negative 2. And then knowing that it goes from negative 5, 2 to negative 1, negative 2. I want to figure out which answer choice would this work if I'm doing this change. See, they're trying to show you how it's mapping. So this says that the x stays, but the y changed. Well, if I look at my x's, they didn't stay the same. So that gets canceled out. This one says you change the sign of the x. Well, if I change the sign of this x, that becomes a positive. Nope, positive 5. Nope, that's going to work because I have to have a negative 1. Well, now I'm adding. So this is whatever your x is, which ours is a negative 5. If you add 4 to it, it gives you your new x. Well, that gives me a negative 1. That's true. Then my y became opposite. That negative y, well, I had a 2 as a y. It became a negative 2. Well, that's true. So there's your answer choice. So you're going to have to do some checking. You're going to have to do some guessing and checking to get these problems, especially like something like this. So they tell you have your vertices D, E, B. Okay, after figure is translated, the vertices have new coordinates in random order. Random order. Okay, there's our new coordinates. Here's our original coordinates. Which best describes it? Well, same thing. Pick a coordinate. Let's do our D. We got 3, 4. Now, with this, let's do this rule. Let's check. Our rule says x, comma, y minus 4. So the x stays the same. So that means that the d prime would end up being 3. And then we're subtracting 4, 0. Well, do I have a 3, 0? No, I have a negative 3, 0. So this wouldn't work. Okay? So let's try it again. We have x plus 4. So if I had 3 plus 4, that would give me 7, and the y stays. Well, I don't have any of those points. I have negative. I don't have any of those for that rule, so that doesn't work either. So let's try another one. You don't have to erase it each time. You know, I could have kept that up there. I apologize for that. Well, now we're going to do minus 4. So we already know what 3 minus 4 gives us. That gives us a negative 1. And then the y stays the same, so that becomes a 4. Well, if I look right there, there it is. So that worked. So let's check it with another point. Let's check it with E. E was 1, 0. If I continue with this rule, which says we're going to say minus 4, that makes that a negative 3, and the y stays, so that makes that 0. There it is. I think I found it. There's our answer. Okay? So guess and check, apply each rule will help you as well. So with that being said, I want you to try this. We have our vertices, okay? We know it's going to change to this image here. After the rotation, using this rule, which of the following is a true statement? So to help you graph it, okay, or do the rule to each point. So like x, we know is negative 3, 4. If I use my rule which says negative y comma x, that means that we're going to switch the order and change the y. Then x prime becomes negative 4, negative 3. We're going to do that for each one, okay? Negative 1, 4, we switch them, change the y coordinate. So this becomes negative 4, negative 1. Do that for z, negative 4, 1, switch the y, switch the y coordinate, negative 1, negative 4. So here is our new image, okay, our new points. And now think about where that would be. Go ahead and graph them if you need to, but this is our first quadrant, this is our second quadrant, this would be our third, and this would be our fourth. So see if you can figure out which answer choice would be true, okay? Want to pause the video, give it a good old Honest try, and then we can check it. So the answer on this would be C. Because these are negative negatives, this side is negative, down is negative, it would be in the third quadrant, which means it would be to the left of the y-axis, okay? All right, and then our last two problems, definitely a test like. P prime is 6, -3 in its image of P. So it goes always pre-image to the image, the letter to the prime. So we have -2, comma 4 mapping to 6, comma -3. Sorry, got that? What is the image of 5 under the same translation? So they want to know, okay, how is this point being translated? If it's at -2 and then it's at 6, at a +6, what am I doing to get that +6? I would have to add 8. If it's at 4 and it went to a -3, what am I doing to get that -3? I'll have to subtract 7. Using that same rule, so our rule is x plus 8 and y minus 7, we're going to find the image of 5, 1. So we're going to add 8 to 5. That gives me 13. We're going to minus 7 from 1. That gives me -6. And then we see our point. Okay? And now let's try this one. I'm going to get you started. You're going to finish it. I'm not going to do it all the way. This right here, JK has the endpoints. Maria dilates it. That's important. Center dilation at the origin. Scale factor of 1/2. That's very important. Then she's reflecting the image in the x-axis. That's also important. It says, what is, and I'm going to do a different color for our question, what is the midpoint of the final image? So let's just start off with our J, 2, 4. It's being dilated by a scale factor of 1/2. So we're taking half the points. So J prime becomes 1, 2. K, 6, 2. Dilating it 1/2 becomes 3, 1. So now they want us to reflect over the x-axis. So that's going to be my J double prime. If I reflect over the x stays, but the y changes. Okay, x stays, y changes. So this would be 1, -2. K double prime would be 3, -1. Now they want us to find the midpoint of this image. So we're doing the midpoint of our J double prime, K double prime. So now I need you to add your x's, divide them by 2, add your y's, divide them by 2, see if you can come up with the coordinate. Alright, that takes care of your video for your review. Don't forget to do some studying, look at your old tests, look at your spiral, your notes, and if you have questions, come to tutorials in the morning. Thanks.